Welcome back to the Merging Life and Money Show, where personal fulfillment and professional success intersects. I am your host, Marie-Jo César, and today's episode is nothing short of extraordinary. Joining me today is a woman who is not just a leader, but a true force of nature in the realm of women's empowerment. She is the founder of Supergirls. She's a college professor and a Wharton MBA graduate. I present to you Jeanne McPhillips, the chief Supergirl or Supergirls and the powerhouse behind the Bossuplikeaqueen Summit. Starting with a vision to disrupt the status quo in college campuses, she has ignited a movement that empowers women of all shapes and sizes to embrace their inner heroes. Her passion for this cause is not just inspiring, it is downright contagious. So today we are not just talking about Jeanne's impressive background in fashion and business or her transition from 7th Avenue to the classroom. We are diving into how she's leveraging her experiences to fuel a crusade of empowerment. With her great education and years of teaching, Jeanne is all about empowering the next generation of women. Most importantly, at the heart of our discussion is a Bossuplikeaqueen Summit, a groundbreaking event that epitomizes Jeanne's mission. This summit, which starts on Thursday, day after tomorrow, is not just an event, it is a movement, a rallying cry for women to find their voice, to find their vision, and the strength of community. So get ready to be moved, to be motivated, and to be part of a conversation that's all about empowering you to embrace your inner hero. Jeanne, welcome to the Merging Life and Money Show. Your journey and the creation of the Bossuplikeaqueen Summit are truly inspiring. So let's dive right into the heart of our conversation.
Let's dive in. Wait, first I just want to say thank you for that unbelievable welcome. Wow. I think I found a new spokesperson for myself, a new PR queen, MJ.
So tell me, could you share with us the inspiration behind the Bossuplikeaqueen Summit and what it represents for women in today's world?
Oh, of course. I would love to. First, let me just say, I am honored to be on this woman's show. Talk about changing the world. This woman is changing the world and disrupting the way we think about money, which is much needed. And MJ is a guest on the summit, and she talks all about that and how we must change our mindsets around money. And so I feel honored and blessed that I got a shot on this show, Merging Life and Money, because we are part of that. Okay, so the inspiration behind the Boss Up Like a Queen, leverage the sisterhood to live the life you love, because it's all about the sisterhood. That is the inspiration. So throughout my life, whenever I've been up or down, it's always the women in my life that support me, that help me through it, that mentor me, that are there. They're like sisters, whether they are by blood or not. I have one amazing sister by blood, but it is all about the sisterhood. We understand each other. Together, we're better. And I launched Supergirls, which, as MJ mentioned, is a movement to inspire and empower the next generation of women. Because as a professor, I see the disconnect, the white space between what we learn in college and what we need in the real world. And I feel like it's our purpose, our mission as the women that are before them to help them rise. We need each other. There's enough to go around, and we should be straightening each other's crowns, not taking them, but straightening them. And so it's all about the sisterhood. I firmly believe that. I was in a sorority in college, and if I did not have that sorority and those sisters, just one example, I never would have graduated from that school. So it is like with gratitude that I'm inspired to bring this to a bigger place. Yes. Do we want to inspire and empower the next generation? Yes. But it's about what is going to get you to next and boss up. And that is the name of the summit, right? Boss up like a queen. What is it? And I believe that it's about sisters in your network. Who you lean on. They have a different expertise than you, maybe, or they know something different, or they had a different experience. Lean into that.
Great. That's truly, truly inspiring, Jeanne. So, building on that, how do you believe the summit empowers women to leverage sisterhood in their personal and professional lives?
So, we've curated 21 boss queens, 21 experts in their own right that are going to lead you into a new way of thinking, into a new perspective, whether it's about money, which is what MJ talks about, and our relationship with money, for example, or whether it's about parenting, or about a career transition, or about writing that book that's inside of you that you're trying to, you know, it's there and you just can't get it out. It's that thing that you need to do next, that you want to do, but for some reason you just can't get there. You're trying really hard by yourself. We don't do it alone, right? No woman is an island.
That's right. It sounds to me, the way that you put it, it's like a collaboration, right? That collaboration is a key because you bring about a variety of topics. Okay. So what are some of the key ways the summit encourages women to support and work with each other?
Okay. So a lot of the speakers or experts have communities that they have created in whatever realm they're in. Okay. So in my world, I have a community, a mastermind queens community that I welcome people to join. That's just one. So if you sign up for the summit, it's a free summit. Of course, it's free to join and sign up for and be a part of. And it's 21 days. The interviews are pre-recorded. So every day, it's like a gift. It's like Christmas. Every day for 21 days, you get a gift of a new woman that's going to light the fire under you. And somebody in that 21 boss queen group is going to inspire you. If not one, if not all. Okay. So that is how we're going to create the community. You're going to inspire people to join the various communities and the various movements that these women have created or are talking about. And people say, well, who's your audience? Okay. That is a great question. Who's your audience? Is it all women? It could be. But it's about mindset, okay? It's not just about one generation, baby boomers or Gen Z or whatever. It's about you as a woman, as a female, that need to get to the next level. There's something that you want to do and you need to boss up. And there's something that's holding you back. And the women in the community will help support you to get you there. I co-founded a group from my alma mater, Wharton, called the Wharton Boss Queens. And actually, that is a huge inspiration, as well as Supergirls. The Supergirls been going a while, and I've been teaching for a while now. But the Wharton Boss Queens, we started a few years ago because we couldn't have our reunion in person during COVID. And we started this group of women. And it has gone now, it's almost 4 years in the running because it's so strong. There's such a connection. They feel such support. And it's just being there for each other, bouncing ideas off of each other. We have content. We have people come in. MJ actually came in and enlightened us with the money mindset because there are so many things to enlighten us. Let's get started on that one. And we talk about different topics, what's going on in our lives, our kids, or career transitions, what's going on at work, whatever it is. But women support each other better. We understand each other better. So the point is, this group really inspired me to think, okay, this is one group, a subsegment of a larger group, because I don't care who it is, where the women are that I meet them from, in what part of my life. There's always been this posse when they get together, it's so much better. It helps you in whatever you need help with, or vice versa. It's give and take.
I totally agree with, and we need it as women because, as we all know, I don't know for what reason, but we always feel that to a certain point, we are lesser than, although we have proven that we are it. We could do it. You know? Yeah, so let me carry on and ask you another question. So tell me, your experiences must have shaped this vision, because that's a tall vision. So can you share a personal story that really highlights the power of sisterhood in your life and in your career?
Oh my God. I don't know where to start, because it's like every turn I make or every turn I take in my life through this winding journey, that is what ends up getting me to the next level. And that is what Boss Up Like a Queen is about. What level are you trying to get to in your life? It doesn't have to be this, you don't have to be changing the world, okay? It's just you are trying to do something in your life, and the magic of having other women around. There's just something about women together. So if I can absolutely share something, a few stories in my life, actually. So the first one I just alluded to, it's not the first one, but one of the most important and integral ones was when I was in college. I went to the College of William and Mary undergraduate in Virginia, and it was a really challenging academic program. And I was like second in my class in high school, and I was all that, right? I was all that. But when I got to college, it was like, what just happened? I had an out-of-body experience. I think I lost my brain somewhere along the line, and I got it was super challenging, the school was, and I was super homesick. I was like 8 hours from home. I grew up in an Italian family, like really close-knit Italian family, and they were all in my business all the time. And I wanted to get away, so I went far away. Meanwhile, as soon as I got there, I was super homesick, and the school was so hard, and I wasn't getting A's, and I gained all this weight, and I was just like a mess. Well, I joined the sorority, Delta, 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 and Tri Delta, and it just changed my world. These women, these sisters, all of a sudden I had a family. And I mean, say what you want about sororities. Sometimes sororities get a bad rap, but they really shouldn't, because all they really do is have love in their heart for the sisters and the part of the community. And all they do is just support you in whatever you need to do. And you're coming in at a younger age, and there's all these older ones that are mentoring you, older sisters. And I don't know, all of a sudden I had a family. And was I still homesick? Yes, but not as much. And so that was the first real like girly experience. Before that, I was in high school, and I was part of the cheerleading squad. And of course, that was a big deal. I mean, you know what they say, once a cheerleader, always a cheerleader. So here I am cheering everyone on, cheering all the women on in my life. So the college experience was definitely one. Another experience that will just always burn in my mind is when I went through a divorce. So I was married about 11 years. I just graduated from business school. We had our son, Mark. And then we went through a divorce, and it was devastating. I had no idea how devastating it was going to be. I was thinking I needed that. I was thinking I needed to be free. I wanted to find my own way. I got married really young, and he's a good guy and all that, but it was really all about me and trying to find my own way. And so that was the divorce. And if I didn't have the women around me, I call it my dark years. There were 3 years after my divorce. Oh my God, I'm getting emotional. 3 years where I was it was a hot mess. I had 3 jobs in 3 years. I had a young son, he was 2, and I had the majority of custody. And starting with my live-in nanny, who was like my little sister in terms of having women to support me. I don't know, and my friends and my sister and my mom and my cousins. I mean, I don't know how I would have gotten through without that. There's no way. I mean, men, who wanted to deal with that after going through a divorce? I wasn't leaning on them.
Yep. Join my club.
For real. Yeah.
Been there, done that.
We're in the club together, girlfriend.
Yep,
Yes,
absolutely. Many, many decades ago, but still, those kind of things never go away. And so tell me, I hear what you said. I concur with a lot of what you say. So, how does a summit address the unique challenges women face in their personal lives, like what you shared with us?
Yeah. So we are blessed to have many different genres represented in the summit. From I'm just going back. I'm starting with that money mindset, and MJ Queen talking about that, to parenting. We have someone who's an inner child expert, and she has a business called Peak Parenting, and she actually works with a lot of people who are thinking about becoming parents, and all of the things that go through your body, your mind, your spirit when you're thinking about having kids, and things that you're not aware of that you're going to pass to these children, because that's the way it works. You don't know it, but helping you become aware of these things. Nobody tells us how to be parents. There's no rule book, right? There's no rule book. So there's parenting. There's a woman, a speaker, who talks about cross-cultural connections in business. She has a business where she helps companies train people in working cross-culturally. I mean, how important is that today? We are in a global work world, right? You have to understand
That is so true. Yep.
that you work in. And I think that is like super empowering. We have someone who also, this is very interesting, cross-generational. She wrote a book, international bestseller, about working and relating cross-generationally. How key is that inside the workplace?
Yep.
I mean, I'm a professor and I'm dealing mostly with Gen Zs. And I feel like now that I've been doing that, I have tools in my toolbox. I understand them. I know what they're looking for, how to motivate them and inspire them. But do most people have that?
Nope.
The next generation or the generation above, it's an absolute gift to be able to understand that. And so those are a few of the ideas we have. We also have a woman who her business is called Defining Moments. And she really believes that people's lives, right? You have these defining moments in your life that, really take you to the next level. So talking about bossing up, and she helps people take those stories and make them into a book, a podcast, a show, whatever you are, wanting to do, and however you want to get that story out, that's going to help servicing other people. So I think the common bond between all these women is that, and I think I'm going to say it's the curated 21 set of beautiful women that we have, but I really think it's most women. We have such big hearts, right? We want to help. We want to help others. We want to put it out there. I mean, why else are we here, right? We're here to serve. And so I think that the summit is a tiny, tiny thing. I mean, yes, I love how you framed it. It's an extraordinary event, and it is like a movement. It's just the beginning.
Yep. And it's so important. And challenges seem to be most women's middle name, doesn't it?
For real.
And
because we do it all. Because we have to do it all and balance it all. And it's like this is it's not a coincidence that this movement of Boss Up Like a Queen Summit and this thing happened or was born this year when the Barbie movie came out. Okay. Hi, Barbie. Yeah. I mean, okay, say what you want about Barbie, but the whole movie, it was the first movie to ever reach $1 billion by a female director.
That is definitely history.
Historical.
In that field for sure.
And the monologue that that's in there about America, that America talks about in the movie, about how we do everything. We are expected to do everything, but we're not expected to be emotional. We're expected to carry it all, but we're not expected to, we're expected to look a certain way, but we're not supposed to think about it. I mean, she goes on and on and on. And it's just like, it is like epic. It's so real. Every woman I talk to that has seen that is like, that is the way it is. What great writing that is. And so that also inspired me. That movie. I mean, I love Barbie. I feel like I was Barbie in another life. I was for Halloween. Barbie. I just think it means so much in the progress of women and where we are today and where we're going.
Yep. Talking challenges, and I'm going to take it slightly in a different direction here. What strategy have you found effective for women asserting themselves in the male-dominated industry? It's very key, and very often we don't want to talk about it, but it's there. It is a reality. Let's talk about it, because it affects not just your self-worth, it's also affect your paycheck.
Yeah, definitely.
It also affects your net worth.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. Yeah.
Again, in line with the whole issue of overcoming challenges, what strategies have you found that are effective for women?
So we talk a lot about this in the Wharton Boss Queens group.
Mm-hmm.
There are several women, as you can imagine, that are in the financial space.
Right.
And they are in a male-dominated, or tech, a male-dominated industry. I mean, I was in fashion, and it was very female. It was heavy female. So I learned from the community, and these are the strategies that I'm going to talk about right today to answer your question. Number one, you need to be authentic. You need to be yourself, because we have a special a way of relating and communicating as women, as females, that men don't have. And we can use that to our advantage, to develop relationships, to negotiate, to connect. It's really important in business how you connect with the other people. So being yourself and being an authentic female woman it's refreshing. I think people want to see that. And I think people are appreciating that. The number two, develop a community within your organization of like-minded females. I mean, it's the same idea as the summit, and people that want to boss up. These females that are gravitating towards this summit are people that understand the value of female friendships and female relationships. If you can do this inside of your organization, you are more, you're a stronger force to be reckoned with. And you can help each other, because that's what it's about, supporting each other and giving each other ideas. Sometimes if you get stuck in a situation with a male and you just get blinders, you don't necessarily know how to move, because you think you have it figured out. This is the way I've done. This is what I've tried, and it doesn't work. Other people may have other suggestions that work for them. Success leaves clues. So I think those are two strategies. Those are two things that I would recommend. It's interesting you asked that. There's another woman on the summit, and Heidi, and she talks about her organization is Girls Who Sell. And she has had a career in B2B sales her entire life. And now she's taken to the streets, and she's mentoring and teaching women, that want a career in sales. And she talks all about the fact that we have special powers as women and how we can develop relationships. I mean, everything is about selling, right? Everything's about selling, whether your career is in sales or whatever you're doing. So it could really benefit anyone. And her hashtag is #SellLikeAGirl.
This is a perfect segue to my next question, because I was about to ask you about mentorship. And you mentioned that this queen that is going to be talking is mentoring. So let's talk mentorship. I would say that mentorship can really be transformative. Doesn't matter how you look at it, right? So how important is it in women's professional growth, and how does a summit facilitate this?
Well, some of the, depending on the queen that you resonate with in the summit, like I was mentioning, have different communities, have different programs, have different offerings for mentorship. I know mine does. I have a specific offering for mentorship and mastermind group. And so, within that, we help mentor the people in the community. I think that, it depends on the community. It depends on the woman and the female and what you need at the time in terms of a mentor. I always, I'm going outside the summit for a second, but I always advise, the young women in Supergirls or in my college community, that they should seek out mentors, given what they're trying to accomplish. Right. I know in my own life, I have not done that enough, until recent years, but I have not done that enough. And so and I think even going back to business school, and we were talking about this yesterday, because I was at lunch with a bunch of the queens, and we were talking about how when we were there, we did not, this was a long time ago, we did not do this. We did not step out and make this group of women and have this community and get together and create the Wharton Women's Circles, which they have now. It wasn't, unfortunately, it wasn't on our minds. We were still trying to be men.
Yeah.
But I think going back to inside the summit and how we can help with that, I think mentoring is in the moment. One of my old mentors, actually, I interviewed her once for a podcast I was doing. And this is something she said, Ode to Jude right now. Mentoring is in the moment. It is not necessarily if someone's older or more experienced.
Oh, no.
In the moment, it's about what do you need? What do you need? How can I help you in the moment? I mean, I have students that I feel like mentor me on certain things.
Absolutely.
Right?
I mean, it's a nudge requirement to be a mentor, I could tell you.
I mean, sometimes it helps and it makes a difference. I mean,
depend of the circumstance, I would say,
Yeah, it really is. And it really is, what do you need? Like, what do you need? And where are you going? And how are you feeling about that? And it's just about getting to know these women and getting to know what they need and what they want. And how can we serve? How can we serve? Does it mean matching you up with one person? Okay. Does it mean being part of a community? Okay. Does it mean you need a coach? Yes. It's really, like it just really depends on who they are.
Oh yeah. And as I always say, it doesn't matter what it is. If we want to be a better version of ourselves, we need help.
Absolutely.
Okay? We need help. I mean, you look at do you know of any Olympic athlete, best in the world, who do not have a coach? Yeah. I don't know of any.
No.
So in order to be on top of your game, you have to have someone not doing it for you, but certainly cheering you on and supporting you, and going,
providing a different perspective.
That's right.
Because MJ, like some of us have partners that are men, and it's like, they can be supportive, but they don't get it all the time. They don't get it. They don't hit the right nerve. They try to be empathetic. They try to, and it's like, you don't get it. And it's like, you go, okay, they're trying. Yeah. Points, kudos for trying, but they don't get it because they can't, because they're just not us,
I really think that people saw vulnerability as a weakness back then. Time is changing, wheels are turning, and vulnerability, in my view, currently is a strength. To be able to show that you need the help and not be afraid to ask for it. That's strength, okay? Because you really want to be a better version of yourself. So you don't see any issues in reaching out and have a community and ask questions. And that's exactly what I want to do with money, talking about money. Lift the veil. pull the curtains and let's get talking about it.
Exactly. Get behind the curtain. That's the only way. And MJ, I don't want to steal your thunder, but this is still resonating with me. Like I met MJ, I don't know, a couple months ago, and some of the things she says, I like wake up in the middle of the night. I'm like, oh my God. But she says,
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to create any nightmares for you.
No. It's not a nightmare. It's like, she's right. Like, we have to change the way we think about money.
Yep.
We have to change it. We have to make it like honest, and we have to talk about it. And it's not some bad secret, it's a lot like addiction, like people that have addictions and they they're shamed, like they don't want to talk about it. But the only way they get well is by sharing.
By sharing. Yep. Anyway, let us not move too far away from our super day coming up. And another thing that I want to talk to you about that is also very much part of the whole boss up process, if I may call it that, is networking. Okay. Networking is so crucial. So could you share some tips for women looking to expand their professional network while maintaining genuine connections? Because sometimes people get it wrong. The networking, the connection, and the whole thing. What can you share with our audience today that would get them to understand that networking is a very crucial element of a community?
I mean, your network is your net worth, right? But your net worth, I'm speaking your language, MJ. You need, and I feel like I'm preaching I preach this all the time to the students too, but you should be networking all the time. And people misconstrue the word. They think it's like a dirty word. All it is about building relationships. That's what it is. You can just, if you need to reach out to people that you resonate with, that you think are cool, that you think are, you have something in common with, that's who you should be networking with. You should also be in my opinion, you should be in women's groups. I mean, this is a big deal. I mean, I must have like 4 or 5 different women's groups that I'm a part of, because women will serve each other, right? We'll shine each other's crowns. And we won't, I mean, there are always going to be outliers, but for the most part, people are happy to help. And so networking is about building relationships no matter where you are in life, what your stage of life is. You're in college, you should be networking with your classmates, because those are the people, those are your peers, and you never know where they're going to go, or alumni. You should be reaching out and connecting on LinkedIn. I mean, LinkedIn is an amazing networking platform that we have these days that we didn't have years ago. And it makes it so much easier, right? So online, there's that. There's also on, social media. We network in social media all the time. I reach out to people I see that I think are super cool, and I just reach out and connect with them. There's a woman she's an unbelievable author. I really wanted to have her on the summit, but she's publishing 4 books.
Oh, wow.
At once. And her name is the Raven Wolf. And her words resonate with me so much that I just reached out to her and I started talking to her, and now we're friends. Mm-hmm. So you just don't know who can, who's going to be there, and how you're going to help someone else. So that's the other part about networking. Always approach it from a gratitude perspective. Like, okay, I mean, someone helped me the other day, and I was talking to them, and I said, listen, how can I help you in return? You have been so gracious and so kind. And, how can I help you in return? What can I do? Can I make an introduction? And they may say, no, there's nothing you can do right now, but they will appreciate the fact that you made that offer.
You reach out. Yeah, that's important. So my next point that I want to touch on, because I want to get you to talk about a few things that I think people should be looking forward to when registering for the summit: balancing career and personal life. And I'm saying balancing, but to me, it's more harmonizing those two, because balance is static. So it's not about balance. It's about harmonizing your career and your personal life. And that is a common challenge. Whether or not we want to accept it, it is not something that comes easy. So how does the summit help women find this harmony with their life?
Many of the stories that you're going to hear on the summit are about women who have delicately found this harmony. So it's going to, they're going to inspire you like never before. You're going to hear from people that were maybe in corporate America and have figured out a way to, work on their own terms.
Mm-hmm.
And because they wanted that kind of a balance, or they wanted to give back. So they figured out a way to do that. And that helps them harmonize. When you're in your purpose, listen, your job doesn't have to be your purpose. Okay. That it does not have to be. It's not, for you to be harmonized.
Hopefully it's not.
Right. I mean, a lot of people think I need to be doing, I need do what you love, the money will follow. Yeah. Okay. If you're happy, then you're definitely going to do well. Probably going to do better than if you weren't.
Happiness is fleeting.
It is. I think that listening to other stories on the summit, listening to the stories,
mm-hmm.
and hearing how they did it in different ways of approaching it is important, because it gives you perspective and it gives you hope. A beautiful girl is like hope dancing in stiletto heels. Mm-hmm. So I think if you hear people that are, making it, doing it, figuring it out in their life, no matter what part of their life they're in, whether they're in their, early part, mid, late, there's always things you can learn. And the more you surround yourself with these kind of women, like that are on the summit, the women that are giving back and doing really cool things and bossing up.
Yeah. Hey, you do what you gotta do.
It's inspiring.
Yeah, we are all at different stage in our life, and life is a cycle. So I totally agree with this. So on the topic of harmony rather than balance, what advice would you give to women who feel overwhelmed by the pressure to excel in every aspect of their lives? I was there before. Okay.
Well, let's ask you first. Because MJ is very humble, but MJ has created this super cool platform. I mean, even before we got on today on the podcast, and she was talking about all the ways that you're going to be able to experience the podcast. It's phenomenal. Okay. And it was foreign to her prior to that, right? She had
totally. That's totally. Right? Yep.
And so what did you do?
What did I do? Let me rewind the tape a little. When you're a kid, I'm young enough but old enough that I'm one of those generations where my mother worked as well as my father. And one thing that I forgot is that we had help. My maternal grandmother spent a lot of time with us throughout the week while my parents were working. And you look and you say, everything works like clockwork when you were little. Everything was just fitting right in. So here I am, left my country, moved to another place and get married, have a family. And of course, I want to be the best wife and the best mother and the best employee and the best of everything. Until you realize that, okay, everybody's day has 24 hours. Mm-hmm. So do you think that you're special and you got a little bit more hours than anybody else? It took me a little while to really figure it out, because it was all about pleasing everybody, making sure that everybody was okay, right?
That's a problem you have as women. Yeah.
Right. So,
a challenge, I should say. Not a problem.
So, and I think I had to take a step back and breathe a little bit and say, okay, what's in it for me? The kids don't ask to be here. Okay, take that. So you got to take care of your kids. You're a mother. So
you got to do what you got to do. Did you get to a point where you were like this, like a breaking point? Like we were talking about defining moments. Was there something that happened that was just like...
What happened really was kids went off to school. And one thing that started to resonate with me more and more, I would ask my now ex-husband, what are we having for dinner tonight? I would call him at midday or something. And no was the answer. And I became sick and tired of this I don't know situation. I've been to every store they don't sell I don't know. So how can we have I don't know for dinner?
I used to say that to my son. I don't know lives in the closet. Okay.
You know, so this really started to get under my skin. And then, okay, it's vacation time. So what do you think we should be going this year? Oh, I don't know. You choose. And as you're really seeing the wall closing on you, the kids are gone. These were the moment that really got to me.
Yeah.
Nobody cares, it seems. Don't get me wrong. But you know that when you are at that stage of your life, that's what comes to your face. And nobody seems to care.
Who's caring about me? Who's taking care of me? I'm taking care of everyone else. I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out. You know? So you asked me what was a defining moment. The defining moment was I was tired of being the go-to person for every aspect of everybody else's life.
It's too hard. You can't do it. It's impossible.
You don't really realize that until years and years later, because you are so caught up in trying to be the best person that you could be. And the definition of best is more like pleasing somebody else and forgetting that you are the main actor.
And you have to fill your tank before you can fill others. But we don't know that. Like my mother was like that. She's a little different now, thankfully. Yeah, it was all about everybody else, herself. Yeah. And then then you start to get resentful after a while. It's too much. You can't do it.
And I could tell you that's when I discover the whole concept of self-care is so important. How does the summit addresses this topic, and why is it crucial for women's empowerment?
Well, because if it's not, if we don't, we do have a beautiful queen who talks about wellness on the summit, and she actually specializes in yin yoga.
Okay.
And if anyone's ever done yin, it's very slow. The moves, you hold the positions for like 3 minutes. And you really, there's something about the fascia. I don't know. She talks all about it. And the muscles and the bones and how everything is connected. But she likens this yoga practice to life, because it's like you don't always have to be reactionary. You can just let stuff happen and then figure out what you're going to do instead of just, reacting, but just taking time. And that's kind of what you said, MJ, right? Taking a step back, taking a breath. This yoga practice, and I've been doing it, and it makes a huge difference. Instead of going through life like a bull in a china shop, you're more thoughtful, intentional about your responses to people, about how you handle things. You're more patient. It's a whole thing. So I think that there's actually a few people to talk about self-care, but that's great. That's great. Yeah, the yin yoga specifically, I think it's really a great prescription for just calming down and listening to yourself and thinking.
Yeah, self-care is important. Now I'm looking at the clock, but I still have a few questions for you. Let me try and get them to you as quick as I can.
I talk too much.
We talk too much.
That's why we get along so well.
There are many misconceptions about women leadership. So what are some of that the summit aims to dispel?
So, okay. I think it's again about, I'm trying to think of the women, the leadership. Well, there is specifically a who talks about, oh my God, there's actually, they talk, a few of them talk about leadership because a few of them have solutions for, corporate challenges, right? So like, how do we deal with the selling, the sell like a girl? To me, that a lot of that is about leadership. It's about how you are thinking and empathizing, with others. And I think leadership is about, I'm going to use a reference right now, a textbook that I use in my creative leadership course, and it's called Leadership Reinvented. And it focuses on 4 values: servitude, innovation, diversity, and empathy. And so there are a few coaches inside of the summit who are leadership coaches. They help women think about how to be a better leader inside of the company or in your own company. But to your point, MJ, everyone needs a coach. Yeah. And these women they had corporate careers prior to being coaches, which gives them a great perspective and empathy for their clients. And they have different tools. I don't want to steal the thunder from them because there's some great tools that they talk about.
Well, hey, it's a path. Yeah. Been there myself. As I said to you, I will never not have a coach.
And in different areas. Sometimes you need a money coach.
I just needed one because I was in corporate for so long and I wanted to have my own shop. And, it's the mindset is different. As I mentioned during our talk last month, I think it's different to be an employee and to be an employer. So when you transition from not having to worry about your paycheck, doesn't matter what, to making sure that you are the one determining the paycheck and also determining your role, that's totally different.
So totally different. It's flipping the script.
Mindset shift.
The coach that you have, MJ, is a business coach?
Yep. I got a business coach, yes, and I will. And I did from the time I stepped down from corporate.
And is it female? Is it a female?
Yes. In fact, I have 2 of them, and they're all females. 2 of them are females. It just happened that way, I wasn't specifically looking. I'm looking at, okay, what can you do for me? That, right. This is my pain point. What would my prescription be? So far so good. I mean, I've been working with the last set of coaches that I have for the past 3, almost 4 years now, and I'm very satisfied.
That's amazing. I definitely want to talk to you about them.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I definitely want to talk to them about
them. I would recommend them any day, anytime.
Yeah, I would love to get them into the community. And also, I've had, in terms of coaches, I've had male coaches and female coaches, both adequate, both do the job, but I definitely feel I get more from the females. This is probably the way I think,
Well, I guess, it is a work in progress. It doesn't matter how we slice a pie. I mean, we come from a society with norms. We were taught to believe that men are superior to a certain extent. And then, although it's not as bad as it used to be, but it's still there. And then we got to continue and persist and make sure that we break the cycle. And I must say that the millennial and the Gen Z are definitely holding their own, but they still need to be coached. You cannot just blow up the past. You got to look at the past to inspire you to a certain extent, so you don't have to rewrite the whole notion, right? But certainly we got to stop it. We got to stop it and stop it now in order for things to reach an even playing field. Because we've been talking about it for a long time. Okay, the gender pay gap and this is that and the male this and the male that. Okay, what are we really doing in earnest?
What are we really doing
to change the landscape? Okay, we still refuse to talk about money openly, and that is a problem. Until we are able,
I feel like you need to run for president.
Well, I don't think so. I'm the president of my house.
Oh my gosh.
But you understand what I'm saying? We've been talking, and I've been talking about it, all the issues that we're facing, and the this and that, and everybody's looking at it. But we're making some headways. I hate to come to bring it back to finance. It's like, oh, financial literacy in America, this is terrible. Da, 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 da. How many schools have it as a compulsory subject? So if you really mean it, you must put it in the schools, right?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
then the parents need to be educated, because the kids are going to learn something, but when they go home, they're dealing with parents that are living on credit cards. So the parents got to stop that too.
It's like Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
And that book been around for 20 plus years. You cannot be literate on something if you're not educated about it. So education comes first, then you become literate. You can't test me on a subject if I never studied the subject, right?
For whatever reason, yeah, it's not in the school. It's not in the education system. It's not in there. We have it in our curriculum in college, but it should be earlier than that.
Yeah, they should. I can't remember where it was. It was before the pandemic. Around Christmas time in the mall, the little kids sat on Santa's taking pictures, and Santa said, what you want, and blah, blah, blah. So the little kids went to the mom, and the mommy said, you can't just do that like that. You got to buy it. So he turned around and asked Santa if he takes credit cards. and he went back to the mom. Well, you got to find out if Santa take the credit card so you could buy me my gift and you could bring it to me at Christmas. I'm talking about before the pandemic, and that kid couldn't be any more than 3. And that kid knew about a credit card. So I'm saying all that to say that those kind of training could be included in the school curriculum.
That's right.
The language that those kids understand.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what I'm saying. You know, the same thing that financial wellness should be taught at work, so that the employers have better employees, and their bottom line at the end of the day is better, and they have a bunch of happy people working for them.
Mental health. Yeah, I mean, it all goes back to your mental health.
That's what it is. But we're getting further and further away from the summit, but this is going to be the byproduct of that summit. So we got to make sure that whatever conversation we have does not stop after the 21 days.
It's just the beginning.
Yeah, well, that I'm just saying. Yeah, we are in that together, sister.
We're in that together, sister. Right there. And if you guys, you need to go into the summit to hear more from MJ. I know you hear a lot of her on this channel.
Yeah, so
you can't hear enough. You cannot hear enough of that.
So as we near the end of our conversation, what are some of the key takeaways you hope attendees will gain from the Bossuplikeaqueen Summit?
Okay, so the key takeaways are you're going to walk away with confidence and the motivation to do what it is that you want to do. Guaranteed you're going to walk away with that. You're going to meet some boss-ass queens that are just fire, that you're going to connect with and be able to resonate with and be able to mastermind with. That is an absolute takeaway.
Yeah, great.
There are all kinds of free gifts from every single speaker queen in the Queen's Court. There's all kinds of free gifts. I don't want to tell you what they are right now.
No, you can't. It's not a secret, but it's a secret. So once you sign up, you'll know. So as we wrap up today's enlightening episode, I want to express my immense gratitude and excitement. It's not
Thank you.
Just every day that we get to converse with someone as inspiring as you, Jeannie.
Oh,
but today,
right back at you.
I also have a special announcement to share, which is no longer special because you already mentioned it. I will be one of the 21 speakers at the Bossuplikeaqueen Summit, and hosting by the amazing Jeannie. And As I mentioned a few moments ago, this summit is not just an event. It is a convergence of powerful voices, of powerful insight, and it is a celebration of women's empowerment.
It is going to move you.
Absolutely. Okay. It's going to teach us how to support each other, how to rise together, and how to embrace our inner heroes.
I love that. That is so perfect.
Yeah.
I couldn't have said it better. That is I didn't need to say it.
Yeah, to my followers and my subscribers and every woman listening right now, I extend a heartfelt invitation to join us on this incredible free summit starting on Thursday, November the 16th.
Oh, that is a wonderful invitation. How can you pass that up? Bossuplikeaqueen.com. That's all you need to do.
Yes. And
thank you. I can't even, I just want to go through, I want to jump through here and just
Well, Jeanne, your work with the Bossuplikeaqueen Summit is a testament to your dedication to empowering women. So thank you, thank you, thank you. For not only being my guest today, right, but for being a guiding light of inspiration and leadership.
Oh my gosh. I'm over the moon right now.
And to our listeners, this is your chance to be part of something truly, truly special. So let's get together. Let's share our stories and let us support each other in our journey.
That's right. So bring your crown, because we will be shining it and shining your light. Okay.
So Jeanne, before we conclude, I am sure that many of our listeners are as excited as I am about the Bossuplikeaqueen Summit. I am excited. So could you share with us where they can go to register for this incredible event? And if you look at the scroll underneath the screen, the last piece is, again, a link. So please pay attention to that link, or better still, take a scan of the QR code and you will know where to go to register. We are looking forward to having as many women as possible listening into that summit for 21 days. That is a gift, people.
Yes, it is absolutely a gift. Bossuplikeaqueen.com. To MJ's point, she has it all right here for you. You can't miss it. Right. Bossuplikeaqueen.com. Yeah, we're expecting over 100,000 people on the summit.
And and make sure to check on both Jeanne's and mine social media. We will be there on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram, Twitter. You cannot afford to miss this summit. So, my listeners, as you know, I like to end my show with a quote. And today I chose one from Helen Keller. And it reads, "Alone, we can do so little. Together, we can do so much." Thank you once again, Jeanne, for being a shining example of what it means to lead with vision, passion, and a deep commitment to empowering others. And thank you to all my listeners for tuning in to the Merging Life and Money Show today. I am your host, Marie-Jo César. I will be back again next week. Until then, stay empowered, stay connected, and continue merging life and money.